Welcome to the Inspire Collective podcast, where our goal is to inspire Christian men and women in the marketplace with all they need to positively influence those around them for God's kingdom. My name is Chris Bowen, and today we're tuning in to Nicole Crank's segment of the Inspire Activation Challenge, a 7-week challenge created to activate individuals in the key areas of their life. In today's segment, Nicole will help listeners be activated in the pursuit of their goals. So let's get started. Welcome, Nicole Crank.
With you at Activate, and I'm here to tell you right now that you're about to spend a few days activating your life, your spirit, your goals, your dreams, and that's what I'm going to help you with today, actually, is activating your goals. And you might be thinking, that was kind of a January thing. I'm kind of in May. Well, we could wait until next January to start living the life of our dreams, or we could start today. What if I told you, go ahead and write this statement down, what if you were only one small adjustment away from potentially living the life of your dreams? Sometimes right about the time you're ready to put things down because things don't look good is when you need somebody to just come along and hit you with, you know what, you were called to this. There was this guy, he was, really a high school glory days. The high school was great. He was playing football. He was big. He was a star. And he graduates from high school and goes to get into college. And he's told by the college teams, you're kind of small. Not sure you're going to make it. Not sure this is for you. Why don't you do something else? So he did. He started delivering pizzas. And I guess he was making some money while he was going to school. He watched the football games, but it wasn't the same as being on the field. But he was too small. I mean, the professionals had spoken after all, right? The college teams had told him he was too small. So one day he knocks on the door to deliver his pepperoni pizza. Little 10-year-old boy opens the door and he says, "Oh my gosh, I know who you are. You're a star. What are you doing delivering pizzas? Why aren't you playing football?" That little boy just got to him. He's like, what am I doing delivering pizzas? What if those guys were wrong? What if I gave up too soon? So instead of giving up, because some other people told him, yep, you should just give up. Instead of giving up, he went to the gym. Instead of giving up, he started training harder. Instead of giving up, he went to work. He had a goal. He said, you know what? I'm not just going to play college ball. I am going to play professional ball. He dreamed and he dreamed big, and he went to work with a plan to make it happen. I don't know who told you couldn't do it. I don't know if it was you, the enemy, your inner me, your high school teacher, your spouse, your boss, somebody at the bank maybe. You know what? Walt Disney was turned down over 200 times for bank loans. What if he had stopped at 200 and you guys, he got a yes. Here I am to say that God hears you and he has a yes for you. He's wanting to reactivate the dreams that are on the inside of you, and those dreams need to turn into goals. So I have a 5-step plan that is so easy. An elementary school student can do it, but it does take a little bit of work. So I'm going to ask you to get a pen, and I'm going to ask you to get a piece of paper. And I know you might be taking notes on your laptop, and that's great. But I'm going to ask you to get a pen, and I'm going to ask you to get a piece of paper. So go ahead, dig through your junk drawer, pull out a notebook, find something of you from your kids from school. Go ahead and grab that out. And while you do, I want to tell you a quote from J.C. Penney. He said, you know what? You give me a stock clerk with a dream, and I'll show you a man who's successful. You show me a man with no dream and no goals, I'll give you a stock clerk. You have to have goals. Even God said you have to have goals. He said, God had goals. He's like, I'm creating man. This is why I'm creating man. Be fruitful and multiply, it says in Genesis 1:28. It says rule and have dominion in the earth. You were created to have dominion. You were called to greatness. So I want to help you to get to some greatness, that you were fearfully and wonderfully made. There's more good about you than there is bad about you. Sure, you have some weaknesses. Sure, you have some things to work on, but your strengths are overwhelming. And we have to make sure that we don't despise the very strengths that God has called on us to use. I want you to write this down. What you focus on tends to manifest. What you pay attention to. Let me ask you a question. Did you ever buy a car? And you didn't really think it was a very common car. You're like, oh, I got this car. It's so cool. Have you seen this kind of car before? Because maybe you hadn't noticed it. Maybe you bought a red Toyota Celica. And as you're driving it down the street, all of a sudden you see a red Toyota Celica and another red Toyota Celica and what another red. All of a sudden you see red Toyota Celicas everywhere. Why? What you focus on tends to manifest. You have been overlooking them before. So here's what we're going to do right now. We are going to take your focus back. We are going to dial it in on the goals and dreams that God has for you. And I'm going to run a plan by you that is so simple. It is so simple, you guys. I'll tell you the 5 steps of the plan. I wrote a book on it. It's called Goal Getters, not Goal Setters, because people set goals, but they don't get goals. And these 5 steps are the difference. And we're going to write goals, which is a 5-step plan. Then we're going to develop the vision for our goals, because clarity of vision brings clarity of life. Then, oh, you guys, we're going to write a plan. We're going to do a map, I call it. We're going to measure, assess, and plan. Because, write this down, every minute you spend planning yields 10 minutes in execution. So a lot of times we go past this planning phase really fast and we think, I don't need to plan. I don't have time to plan. You don't have time not to plan. So I'm going to help you walk through measuring. What do you measure? How do you measure it? What questions do you ask? How do you assess what you should be doing? How do you write a plan? I'm going to walk you through that process. And then in step number 4, I talk about the immense value of simply not quitting. A lot of people call it commitment, but people are scared of commitment. Don't make a commitment. Just realize the immense value of simply not quitting, doing it one more time. Stop delivering the pizza, pick up the football, get back in the gym, start sharpening your coding skills again. Go ahead and write your business plan. Go ahead and open up and start writing that book. God is calling you to us. I don't believe that we were connected today on accident. I believe we were connected today on purpose. And then the last thing is, I'm going to teach you how to reward yourself. When you build in rewards, you take time to seal out the moment, which gives you the gas that you need to keep going when things get a little bit dry. Because getting your dreams is a little bit of work, but I believe you can make it. So here's the first question I want you to ask yourself. What would it take for this to be the most amazing year of your life? Just start thinking about that. Start dreaming that. If you're going to accomplish these big goals, you're going to need some plans to get there, and we're going to take you through that. But first, we're going to take you through a little bit of just goal setting. So grab that piece of paper, and you're going to write your goals on pen and paper. I told you there's 5 steps to writing goals. I'm going to run through them really quick. I really hope you get the book and read the book. There's 47 pages before you write the book, but every minute of planning yields 10 minutes in execution. It is one of the only things in history that yields a 1,000% return. So it takes a few pages before you write your goals. I'll give you the synopsis right now, and you can work off the synopsis. But if you follow these 5 steps, you'll be living the life of your dreams probably in the next 12 months. The results are remarkable. I taught this one time at our church, and there was a single mom sitting there. And I taught it again about 18 months later, and I talked about people's 10 goals. And she said, hey, I just need to tell you that I've achieved 9 of my 10 goals. She said I was $37,000 in debt. I didn't know how I was going to get out of debt. And I'm a single mom, and for 12 years, I've wanted my son and I not to live in an apartment, but to live in a house. And I had no idea how that was going to happen. She said, I want to let you know, I live in a house. Out of $37,000 in debt, I've paid off all but $4,000 of it. I haven't had a job change. I've got 9 of my 10 goals that I'm working on that financial goal. The next one, she said, is my physical goal. And once I meet that physical goal, she said, I'm not going to be single anymore. If a single mom can do that in just over a year, I'm telling you, you can achieve your dream. And step number 1 that I've been encouraging you to do, I told you it's simple, but it takes a little bit of work, is get a pen and paper. The difference between you and about a few minutes from now and most of America is that 97% of Americans never write down their goals. So simply by writing them down, now why write them? Why can't I just type them on my computer? There is an audio, you're hearing me right now. Visual, you're seeing me right now. Neurological connection when you physically write them with your motor skills. And when you do those 3 things at one time, it drives the information 70% deeper into your brain. Because if you write a goal and then you forget what the goal is, what good does the goal even do in the first place? You have to know your goals. So actually, as we write our goals, the next step will be on our way to vision is we will learn to internalize our goals. So when somebody asks you what your goals are, you will know what your goals are. And what that does is it programs your body. I just love when science backs up the Bible. So, I mean, it's taken us a couple thousand years to start catching up, but the Bible is true. And what the Bible says is you have what you say. It says that in the Bible, you have what you say. It says, say unto the mountain, be thou removed and be cast into the sea, not down in his heart, but believe those things which he saith will come to pass. He shall have whatsoever he saith. Mark 11:23 and 24. So the way that works in science is there's a part of the brain called the reticular activating system. And whenever you say things, your brain doesn't know the difference when you're joking and when you're telling the truth. So as you begin to say these things, you program your brain for subconscious success. You know, outside of the 5 things, I also give a bonus chapter called Tips, Tricks, and Hacks. And one of them is writing out your schedule the night before so that it programs your brain for success. I always look at my schedule the night before. While I'm sleeping, my brain will automatically work out traffic. Don't forget to set the alarm. Go ahead and make sure you switch out the laundry. It will start working out some of the issues so that when I wake up, I don't even know it, but my brain's been at work setting me up for success. We're activating the success. We're activating these goals in your life. So number 1, pen and paper. Number 2, when you write down your goals, only write down 7 to 10 goals. I know there's a temptation to write down 10 physical goals and 10 reading goals and 10 vacation goals and 10 marital relationship goals and 10 financial goals. And we have all these goals. The old Chinese proverb says, the man who chases many rabbits loses them all. We need to be able to focus in. Why? When we talked about goal setting, we started with a statement. We wrote it down. Look at your paper. It says what we focus on tends to manifest. Remember the red Toyota Celica? So if we want it to manifest in our life, we have to focus on it. We can't focus on everything. We have to focus on a few things. So number 1, writing it down on pen and paper. You're in the top 3% of Americans. Another thing, Dr. Gail Matthews said after doing a study, by simply writing down your goals, you're 42% more likely to achieve your goals. So you become in the top 3% in America, you're 42% more likely to achieve your goals just by writing them down. Or have I talked you into this yet? I know the first step is the hardest. Go ahead, get that pen and paper and write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I told you it was easy. I told you it was a little bit of work, but I know that you can do it. If you're 6 years old, you can do this. Matter of fact, remember that 6-year-old thing? I'll bring that back in just a minute. Piece of paper, 7 to 10 goals. Number 3, when we write our goals, we're going to set a timer for 3 minutes. And we are going to write our goals in 3 minutes or less. Why are we going to write our goals in 3 minutes or less? Because your brain, after 3 minutes, will go to work talking you out of the very thing that God is trying to talk you into. You'll start having doubts, you'll start having fears, you'll start thinking, well, I don't know if I can really do that. No, I want you to dream, and I want you to dream big. I don't want you to deliver pepperoni pizza. I want you to play football. I don't want you to be a stock clerk. I want you to make history. You know what? JCPenney can see a stock clerk and see a man that makes history. I'm pretty sure I messed that quote up earlier because I was doing it from the top of my head. But you're a history maker, not a stock clerk. Isaiah 46:10 says, I declare the beginning from the end. I declare long ago what is not yet done. God sets goals. So now you're doing it too on pen and paper, 7 to 10 goals in under 3 minutes. Now, something I talk about in my book that we haven't talked about today is, at first, before you start, pray for a minute. Ask God, look, if I'm trying to do my will, it's not going to get very far. But if I'm trying to do your will, you're going to breathe your favor and your grace and your mercy on this. And I'm going to go so much further than I ever could on my own. God, reveal to me what you want me to do. And the God of heaven and earth will come in with you. So we're writing our goals on pen and paper, 7 to 10 of them in under 3 minutes. Number 4, we are going to write specific goals. They're going to be abundantly clear. The goals aren't going to be things like, I'm going to make more money. Oh, really? How much more money? $10 more this year? $10,000 more this year? $50,000 more this year? Are you going to make $1 more an hour? What is more money? Now, here's one of the problems with not setting a specific goal. Your brain will go to work, especially after we internalize our goals, trying to reach your goals. But once you make 1 cent more than you made before, your brain is satisfied and it says, you told me to make more money. I made more money. We're done. On to the next thing. If you tell your body you need to lose weight, it loses a pound. Tell me if this is not true, please. You tell your body, I need to lose weight. You lose 1 pound and suddenly your body's like, we did good. Let's get ice cream. No, we need to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds. So if we're going to make money, if we're going to make more money, if we're going to lose weight, we need to say exactly what's going to happen. So when I said the 6-year-old earlier, that same 6-year-old, Einstein says you need to make your goals so clear that a 6-year-old would understand them. So if you have trouble articulating it, if you don't really understand it, we need to spend a little time refining the way we put it so that a 6-year-old could understand it. So let's talk about money. So maybe you make $35,000 a year and you're like, this is the year that I make $50,000. Don't say, I'm going to make $15,000 more. Say the number you're going to make. I'm going to make $50,000 this year. Now, we're going to talk about that phrasing here in a second, but let's go to weight first. Maybe you're going to lose some weight and you're like, you know what? I need to lose 10 pounds. We're not going to say, I need to lose 10 pounds. Because if you're like me, you've lost the same 1 pound over and over again, at least 10 times, and you only weigh 1 pound less than you did to begin with. No, we're going to say, I weigh my perfect weight of. So I'm blending from step number 4 to step number 5, because step number 4 is make a very specific goal as you articulate it out loud. And number 5 is you're going to frame it in the present or the past tense. Not as like I am going to, but as if it's already done. So I'm going to make $50,000 this year. Phrase it this way. I am making $50,000 this year. I'm making $50,000 in 2021. Or whatever your number is, or whether it's with weight, or if you're talking about your marriage, or if you're talking about your kids, or if you're talking about a grade you're going to get, or if you're talking about a degree you're going to accomplish, or if you're talking about a permit that you're going to get, or licensing that you're going to acquire, if you're talking about a book that you're going to write, any of those things, make sure you write it on pen and paper. There's only 7 to 10 of them. Write it on pen and paper. What you focus on tends to manifest. And there's the audio visual neuropathy connection. Number 2, you want to write only 7 to 10. A man who chases many rabbits loses them all. Number 3, you're going to write your goals in 3 minutes or less, because the man who chases many rabbits loses them all, and your brain will talk you out of it. You don't want your brain to talk you out of it. Number 4, your goals are going to be so specific, like Einstein said, a 6-year-old would be able to figure it out. And number 5, we're going to do it in the past or present tense, so that when we articulate it and when we read it out loud, our brain understands this is not something that's going to happen in a distant future. This is something that is happening right now. I know we only have a couple minutes left together, but I want to help you internalize your goals. So if you go to NicoleCrank.com/goals, I have some worksheets there that will help you, along with my book. There's a productivity bundle there that if you really are serious, if you're like, no, this is the year I'm going to start living my dream, the book is free, just pay for shipping. The productivity bundle is going to get you there. I have a masterclass, 7 sessions where I sit down and I walk you through these things. I have a masterclass that comes with these worksheets. I have a masterclass that comes with a workbook that's going to help you get there. I want you to get there, and that's why I'm going to help you internalize these goals very quickly before Chris comes back in just the next couple of minutes. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to write it on pen and paper every day for 30 days. Now, those worksheets that I put on my website, they go ahead and they list out all 10 things. They make it cool. They have quotes. They have ways to encourage you along the way. And I'm going to tell you exactly where to keep that pen and paper. You know where you keep it? You keep it next to your bed. Because you're going to write your goals every day when you first get up in the morning before work. Why? Because the devil will distract you. You'll get busy, I'm going to do it tonight, and then you won't, and then you'll get distracted, and you won't internalize your goals. You need to handwrite them before you go to work every day for 30 days. Come on, you can do this for 30 days. I mean, how long does it take? 60 whole seconds? You just put that pen in your paper. Here I am in a hotel room in Houston, Texas, getting ready to speak at Lakewood. All you do is you put that pen and paper next to your bed for 30 days. You wake up in the morning, you write them down, pen and paper every day for 30 days, right? You can do this before you go to work in the morning so you don't get distracted. And in our last minute together, you do it without looking at your goals. I know you're panicking right now because you're like, I can't remember all 10 goals, and you never will, unless you work your memory. So what this will do, I'm here to tell you the way the brain works. There's neurogenesis. That's one reason. Science name why we want to do this first thing in the morning is it gets our brain moving in a certain direction. And there's neuroplasticity. What is neuroplasticity? We're going to do the same thing over and over again until it physically moves a groove into our brain and grows with these roots. Bible says be rooted and grounded in love. That's why we pray about our goals. It grows these roots, and it will actually physically change the gray matter of your brain by your thoughts. You are internalizing this thing to where your brain is literally wired to accomplish this goal. By writing it on pen and paper every day for 30 days before you go to work without looking back. So that means I am making X number of dollars a year. I weigh my perfect weight of, maybe something about your relationships, maybe something about the screenplay you're working on, maybe something about your music career. You've got those blanks to fill in and you're going to do it. And that is the nutshell, fast version of step 1 of 5 to really living your dream in the next 12 months. That starts moving into step number 2, which is vision. And when the vision is clear, results appear. People perish for a lack of knowledge. What you don't know hurts you. And in Habakkuk 2, it says, write the vision, what you're doing, make it plain. That's what creating that vision board and creating that vision so clear you can see it and everybody else can see it too. I want to help you with those things. So Chris, as we go back to you, friends, go to NicoleCrank.com/goals. Get the book for free. It's from me, but invest just a few dollars in yourself because I'm here to tell you, you are worth it. And when you're living the life of your dreams, go ahead and email me, send me a testimony, DM me on Instagram. I want to live your dreams with you. You're going to do it. Activate your dreams, activate your goals, live your dreams.
Wow, Nicole. What an amazing talk with us tonight here at the Inspire Activation Challenge. We hope this conversation with Nicole Crank has left you feeling both motivated and inspired. For more content, you can sign up for the Inspire Collective magazine and get your first year subscription absolutely free. For more on this offer, visit us at inspirecollective.com. Thanks for tuning in and see you next week for the Inspire Collective podcast.